Does this sign warn you that you are approaching an intersection where traffic merges from the left? The answer is no. You intend to go straight ahead. Are you obliged to give way to the tram which is turning left? The answer is no. On a line marked by triangular road markings, are you unconditionally obliged to stop the vehicle? The answer is no. When driving a vehicle involved in a road accident in which people are injured, are you obliged to remove the vehicle from the scene of the accident not to obstruct the traffic? The answer is no. In this situation, do you have to exercise great caution? The answer is no. Are you obliged in this situation to give way to the tram whose driver signals the intention to turn left? The answer is no. In this situation, are you obliged to stop before you enter the intersection? The answer is no. Are you allowed to turn left in this situation? The answer is no. You are driving a motor vehicle. Does this sign prohibit you from overtaking single-track motor vehicles? The answer is no. You intend to turn right. Are you obliged to yield the right of way to the vehicle approaching from the left? The answer is yes. In this situation, are you obliged to stop and wait until the bus drives out of the bay? The answer is no. Does the prohibition expressed by this sign apply beyond the nearest intersection? The answer is no. Do the signs you see here warn you that you are approaching a pedestrian crossing? The answer is no. You are driving a vehicle in a built-up area. Does the visible prohibition sign apply to motorcycles? The answer is yes. Are you allowed to pass the preceding stationary vehicle on the left? The answer is no. In this situation, when approaching an intersection, are you absolved from the obligation of exercising extreme caution? The answer is no. Is the prohibition expressed on this sign obligatory from the place of its mounting? The answer is no. In this situation, are you approaching a road with the right of way? The answer is yes. Does this road marking allow you to make a U-turn? The answer is yes. Can you use the horn if the presented vehicle starts to change the lane while you are overtaking? The answer is yes. Which of the following are mandatory equipment in each passenger car? A spare wheel, a first aid kit, a fire extinguisher. A fire extinguisher. What documents are you obliged to carry with you and present at the request of the competent authorities during roadside inspections? Registration document. Receipt of retention of the registration document for the period it authorizes the use of the vehicle. Certificate of compliance with technical specifications. Receipt of retention of the registration document for the period it authorizes the use of the vehicle. Which of the control lights visible in the illustration informs you that the rear fog lights are enabled? A, B, C. A. What is the correct way of resuscitation of an unconscious preschooler who is not breathing? 5 initial breaths, then 30 presses and 2 breaths. 15 presses and then 2 breaths. 30 presses and then 2 breaths. 5 initial breaths, then 30 presses and 2 breaths. On which road does the driver have to keep a strict minimum distance from the preceding vehicle? On the expressway. On a dual carriageway road with at least 2 lanes dedicated to each direction of traffic. On a single carriageway road outside a built-up area. On the expressway. How do you transport a child less than 150 centimeters tall in the front seat of a 5-seater passenger car? On a passenger's lap. In a safety seat or other child restraint system. In a rear-facing safety seat if the vehicle has an active passenger airbag. In a safety seat or other child restraint system. A hauled passenger car may be marked by switching on hazard lights. Placing a reflective warning triangle on the left behind the car. Switching on the rear fog light. Placing a reflective warning triangle on the left behind the car. Which braking method do you apply in the event of an ABS failure on a slippery surface? Pulse braking. Pushing the brake pedal all the way down. Pulling up the handbrake. Pulse braking. In what way should you observe your surroundings while driving on a motorway? Look only in front of you. Pay the same amount of attention to observing the road in front of and behind the vehicle. Look to the front and from time to time monitor the road behind the vehicle using the side mirrors. Look to the front and from time to time monitor the road behind the vehicle using the side mirrors. Should you apply to the provincial governor to obtain an international driving license? No, such driving license is issued by the starost. Yes, but you have to pay a registration fee. Yes, in all cases. No, such driving license is issued by the starost. Under what circumstances can you carry a third child, under 135 centimeters in height, in the rear seat of a car or truck, restrained only by seat belts? If 2 children are transported in safety seats and it is impossible to install a third seat and the third child is over 3 years old. Only if the third child is at least 100 centimeters tall. Only if the third child is 15 years old. If 2 children are transported in safety seats and it is impossible to install a third seat and the third child is over 3 years old. Which of the listed ways of carrying the extinguisher in a passenger car is proper? The extinguisher is placed on the rear shelf. The extinguisher is placed loosely between the seats. The extinguisher is mounted under the passenger seat. The extinguisher is mounted under the passenger seat.